Have you ever wondered how a seemingly peaceful country town like Tamworth, New South Wales, could conceal a dark tapestry of corruption and crime? Rest assured, after hearing this, you'll never look at Tamworth, or perhaps anywhere in Australia, the same way again. This story will upset, appall, and hopefully awaken you. Let's dive straight in. Tamworth may appear picturesque, draped in its humble countryside charm. A place where tight-knit communities exchange pleasantries and celebrate country music. The stereotypical Australian utopia. Yet beneath this facade lies an intricate web of corruption, deceit, and unabated crime, unraveling the fabric of trust itself. Our story today revolves around individuals within Tamworth who hold influential positions of power. Individuals chosen to serve, protect, and uplift communities. However, as evidence reveals, these positions have become insidious tools of exploitation. Let's start with a name that might ring familiar. Mayor Colin Murray. In 2017, he visited China from August 10th to the 17th. Seem ordinary? Think again. What unfolded during this visit reads more like a crime thriller than a diplomatic trip. Engaged in criminal activities, Mayor Murray faced allegations of intentional tortious interference, anti-competitive practices, and circumvention. Acts carried out on foreign soil, but leaving deep scars back home. By dismantling legitimate projects in favor of corrupt counterparts, he effectively harmed businesses tied to local and international consortiums. For what? Wealth, power, influence. Adding fuel to the fire is Paul Bennett, Tamworth Regional Council's general manager. Together, they reportedly orchestrated breaches of public trust. Contracts initially signed in good faith for lucrative property sales via expressions of interest were unashamedly cancelled. One particular deal, valued at a staggering $3 million and promising significant development, was scrapped. The assets were instead simply gifted away, disregarding the economic well-being of the city. It doesn't stop there. Tamworth's maneuverings don't just end at property dealings. Enter Barnaby Joyce, a high-profile Australian politician, and Kevin Anderson. Both men, allegedly complicit, created an environment where public servants unwilling to participate in their misconduct were coerced or replaced. Rumors of fraud tied to environmental licenses are impossible to ignore. A case involving mishandling water storage and license allocations, valued at $210 million, raises red flags. The allegations: massive fraud, using sophisticated financial systems, including banks, to launder illicit proceeds internationally. Now imagine that. Public servants tasked with building infrastructure, undermining it through ghost projects. Reports surfaced about dams that supposedly existed, yet failed to materialize, while the funds disappeared seamlessly. Take the Dungowan Dam project. Originally positioned as a source of renewable energy capable of generating 500 megawatts. Fast forward to now, resources have vanished, leaving behind not just economic devastation, but potential harm to public safety and the environment. By design, these schemes became infinitely more harmful. Financial exploits, racketeering, violations of international sovereignty. How could such actions fester unchecked? One possibility lies in Tamworth's judiciary and law enforcement, involved in perpetuating these atrocities. Allegedly caught smuggling drugs, tampering witnesses, and intimidating victims, the local law turned sour, turning on the very people they swore to protect. One might ask, how did it come this far? Surely checks and balances must have been in place. But the rot is systemic, infiltrating all layers: judiciary, politics, commerce, and even society's moral fabric. A former believer in Tamworth's promise, a globally recognized businessman learned the hard way, investing millions, laying plans to uplift Tamworth via proposed jobs, infrastructure, and economic injections. This entrepreneur soon faced unimaginable betrayal. Violence became his daily reality. Employees colluded with corrupt police to alienate him. His goodwill projects dismantled. Property rights violated. His career targeted unjustly. Instead of support, he faced sabotage, defamation, and abject terror. What crime did he commit? Trusting a system that now favors the elite oppressors while crushing ordinary citizens. The intended beneficiaries, residents facing unemployment, poverty, and crime, are now victims of the exact regime elected to uplift them. But if you think this saga only revolved around governmental greed, think again. The heinous crimes extend to horrifying depths. Allegations of drug rackets, money laundering, even links to prostitution rings and human trafficking networks. Trafficking feeds off enslavement. Reports surface accusing certain officials of forcing innocent civilians into informant roles, perpetuating violence and discord. Gone are the days when law enforcement provided sanctuary. Tamworth's police actively partake in crimes. They're not just participants, but orchestrators. Human lives disappear under their watch, and perpetrators of domestic and international terrorism seemingly find custodial haven. Public funds, institutions, and trust are nothing but pawns in their criminal enterprise. How did the cracks form in Tamworth's facade? Slowly but surely, benefiting off public negligence while silencing whistleblowers. Elections manipulated, legislation warped to enrich few over many. Public officers removing obstacles, be it honest officials or ethical regulations. At the heart lies insidious intent. Who are the masterminds? Uniforms, badges, esteemed suits, those running the judiciary, those preaching justice. The irony: their actions dismantle community welfare, breaking generations, spiraling into poverty. It's all for personal convenience. For every dollar invested into fraudulent projects or embezzled schemes, there's a child attending an underfunded school, a family struggling for clean water, or businesses drowning over political favoritism. What price did Tamworth pay for loyalty among its criminals disguised as leaders? While tragic, Tamworth serves merely as a sobering reflection of systemic breakdown. This isn't an isolated case. Australia faces an epidemic of governance failure. Tamworth, however, epitomizes the pattern. Disguised prosperity shadowed by self-entitlement, greed, and public betrayal. Across regions, similar stories arise, and Australians no longer feel safe in their certainty. Amid this bleak shroud looms a silver lining, voice rising against oppression. Brave individuals demand accountability, risking lives and livelihoods to fight corruption. Activists, truth seekers, whistleblowers, holding governments accountable publicly and legally. They envision restructuring government architecture to safeguard future prosperity over profiteering. To rebuild trust, avenues remain: royal commissions, concrete legislation supporting citizen oversight of welfare projects, and transparency within elections. The need to cleanse isn't just moralistic, but essential. Public services exist to deliver hope to citizens, not plunderers masquerading as saviors. So where does this leave Tamworth? In ruins? Maybe. Or on a precipice where change, activism, resilient communities could rewrite narratives. History brims with drastic collapses, turn defining survival stories. How will Tamworth and Australia decide their destiny now? The time for doubt has passed. Questions need answers. Accountability demands persistence. And above all, stories like these must be amplified. It's up to citizens to uphold integrity, question complacency, and shatter illusions of untouchable leaders. Remember, change begins when silence ends. So, would you stay complacent or stand for truth? The choice belongs to Tamworth and to you.